And that should be the last camera we need. Yeah, the body cams help, but sometimes getting into a new room to get set up and still being in field of view can be a little tricky. It's honestly not that difficult, but we do honestly train people on it really extensively. What we do, the results we produce, it all needs to be unimpeachable. No. Well, there's some waiting, at least if it's like 90% of the jobs we take on, but we don't just sit around and wait. That would be irresponsible. There's all sorts of things to still do. Cameras are just the first step, not anywhere close to the last. We need to set up the REM pods, but we also need to grab EMF readers and bring those with us while we walk through the place with the recorders. We can visit with each other during the cursory sweep, but we can also start trying to engage with whatever might be here whenever we want to. Though depending on what kind of haunting it is, assuming it's a genuine paranormal event, interacting with it might not even be possible or produce any real results. Here, take this. This is the EMF. Hold it. No, like a stud finder. Remote style makes sense based on the shape of it and stuff, but it won't work properly if you do it that way because it reads electrical signals from the back. Keep it right about waist level and try not to jostle it around too much. Also, things like your phone, coming into contact with it, among other things. I actually once popped a false five by accidentally tapping a ring I was wearing against the back of it, and that's why I took off all my jewelry I was wearing earlier, just to try to make absolutely certain I don't taint any of the results. Anyway, any of that can make a reading spike incorrectly, so just be cognizant. Oh, sorry. That's the number of lights that light up across the top. Every room with anything electrical running in it will register some amount of feedback on the EMF. 2 to 3 isn't at all abnormal. Neither is a 5 if the electrical current is strong enough, though that's more in commercial buildings than residential ones. Never mind that we're currently in a commercial building. In here? Hmm. Well, even though part of this unit lost power in the fire, and we shut off the rest of it for tonight, what with being connected to the rest of the structure at this wall, and considering that the neighboring business didn't have to lose power after the fire, and that we weren't able to shut off their power for this, probably a 2? Possibly up to a 4, depending on what exactly they have running on the other side of the wall, and the thickness and age of the brick, and the insulation between these parts of the building. If there's any insulation at all, which there might not be considering the age of the building. If we get a 5 in a place we don't expect to, if it's close to the wall, I can always cross check with the proprietor and cross reference the security cameras from next door, just to check the electricity usage at the time we got the reading. They were willing to do at least that much to help us out, which is a lot, really, when you think about it. I'm gonna set a couple of REM pods up in here and grab the recorder and a couple of other REM pods to take with us as we go up. If you'd grab one too, that would be great. Just don't touch the EMF. Yeah. Well, it takes time, but when you care about something, you want to remember it. And I care about what the society is doing deeply. Who's asking, Hot Shot? The investigative reporter or the guest investigator? They can, but in the interest of full disclosure, since we're being honest, one of them would get a slightly edited answer. There was a point when I did. I questioned all of it. I didn't used to believe. When I started investigating with the society in high school, it was because I desperately wanted to prove it all wrong. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Everyone knows that one, but it's apt. And I know that's Arthur Conan Doyle, and I know he was a spiritualist, so I don't know how much weight that carries for you, especially for this. But it always has for me. It's applicable, and it makes sense. Look for the probable, for the things you can prove. Things people might mistake for something else when they're upset, or when they feel off, when the energy in the room is weird. And I don't mean the mystical chakra chi stuff, or even the emotional load of a room that anyone is capable of picking up on. I mean like when wires aren't insulated right, or when a breaker box isn't gauged properly. Our bodies pick up on that electrical malfunction or interference, however you want to say it. And that isn't any sort of paranormal research technique or information. That's hard science, and that's provable. That's part of why you feel uneasy sometimes in older buildings, you know? Anyway, once you eliminate any of that, and 1,000 other things that it might be that people don't even know to account for, like the lady and the pipes in her laundry room, yeah. Once you've done that, and strange things are still happening, well, at that point you've eliminated the impossible. So, what remains has to be the truth. The longer I do this, the more that I see, the stronger my belief gets. It doesn't mean it's always paranormal, but sometimes it is. I'm gonna put the headphones on for the recorder now. I'll still be able to hear you because of the mic. Let's actually work our way higher up. Most of the reported activity from the work crews didn't start until they were on the 3rd floor, with activity increasing after initial incidents. Oh, yeah. There are several types of hauntings, but most can be broken down into 2 categories: residual or intelligent. Residual hauntings are almost like watching a movie or looking at a picture. The spirit doesn't know you're there, just like the person in the picture doesn't know you're there. Their spirit is present only as an imprint of their memory, for lack of a better way to describe it. Intelligent hauntings, though. You heard that, right? Was that you? Okay. That could be something settling. It's about 20 degrees cooler now than it was at sundown. It's been a few hours, but wood can sometimes be weird about that. It also could be that the protective tarp came loose and blew something over. Or it's possible we're actually climbing a part of the stairs that aren't quite as stable as assumed, and that our weight caused something to shift in some weird sort of domino effect. Let's keep going, but be cautious. What? No! Because the stairs could be unsafe. I told you, none of the remediation crews ever finished any of their work, and I don't know how far they actually got before they left. Whether this is truly safe is honestly kind of a best guess right now. Hence the liability waivers we signed. Let's get closer to this wall and go single file. I'll lead. If this is really a ghost, even if it's an intelligent haunting, they can't do much to actually hurt you. The building is honestly more of a threat than any ghost, and that's only because of its current conditions. Was that on the 3rd floor? Okay, so you heard that one too. Good to know. Let me just drop a REM pod off right over here. This device will let you talk to me if you want. It won't hurt you at all. If you get close, it'll just beep really loudly, like this. I'm gonna leave it here for now and come back in a minute. Unless you want to talk to me now? Okay, I'm going up to the 3rd floor. I'll come back down though. If I answer that, I answer it for the guest investigator. And that is, someone who's here because they're at least open to believing. Alright then. We do it as a precaution and a courtesy. With some intelligent hauntings, we find they don't want to get near things they don't know. Especially in a case like this, if it's real and if it's intelligent. You're still hearing this, right? Okay, let's climb this flight the same way. Hug the structural wall, single file, go slow. If we feel anything start to shake or give, we abort. If a haunting is real, and if it's intelligent, we want to do everything we can to reassure the spirit so we can facilitate any sort of communication they might be open to engaging in. Intelligent hauntings are just like people, just like you and me, except dead. So being cautious of something they don't understand is natural. I don't know for sure yet. I want to get up here and figure out what's making these noises. Once we know what, we can try to discern the why. Okay, let's see if we can find... You heard that too, right? You still a raging skeptic, Hot Shot? Or is that enough proof for you yet?